officially November 30th, so I think it's safe to do this reading wrap up. I probably won't finish another book this month. Let's talk about the books that I did finish this November and glaze over some books that I hope to be reading in December. So the first book that I finished this November did not let me down. This is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. Starting off strong, really, I gave this book a whopping 5 stars. This is a fantasy, subplot of romance, historical kind of story about these 2 war correspondents that share magical typewriters that can communicate from distances. They go to war, they're on the front lines, and they're documenting for the newspaper publishing that they work for. You see them turn from enemies to lovers. This is the first book I've ever read by Rebecca Ross. She did not let me down. She has amazing, floral, beautiful writing. I did film a video on this a little bit ago. Definitely go watch that if you want a little bit more insight on this book and how I feel about it. Very strong start to the month, I would say. So the next book that I finished this month was Iron Flame. This is by Rebecca Yarros. This book is the second installment of the Empyrean series. I definitely had high hopes going into this book, but I ended up giving it a 3 stars. This book is kind of like Hunger Games meets How to Train Your Dragon meets Harry Potter, I would say. You're basically in a school setting. There's dragons, there's combat, there's heavy war politics in this book. Basically, you follow Violet Sorrengail. She is the main character and kind of her world at this school at the Basgaith War College. I can't really decide, honestly. I don't know if this book was too long for me. I don't know if the relationship was established too soon and I wanted some more chase. Let me down just a little bit, put me in a major book slump if I'm being honest. I don't know. I would pick up the 3rd installment, but I don't really have too deep of thoughts on this book. Like I was saying with Iron Flame, it kind of put me in a book slump, so I thought now would be the best time to use Spotify's new audiobook feature. The next book that I finished this November was People We Meet on Vacation. I ended up giving this book a 4 stars. Typically, I do rate Emily Henry's books on the higher side of the star scale. In this book, you are following our 2 main characters, Poppy and Alex. They met during college and they were complete polar opposites. It kind of took them a very long time to not absolutely hate each other and kind of develop a sort of friendship. There's an aspect about their friendship where they go on annual summer vacations with each other to random places in the United States, sometimes out of the United States. Things change, life happens, they end up separating and going their own ways into their adulthood, but this annual summer vacation kind of ties them back together. You see them rekindle, work things out, communicate, going through these fun little adventures on this summer vacation to Palm Springs. I found this book so endearing. I thought it was hilarious. I literally found myself laughing out loud in my car. I know Emily Henry has great banter in her books, so that's what I was kind of expecting going into this, and she did not fail. The 4th book that I ended up finishing this November was King of Pride by Anna Hong. I ended up rating this book a 4 stars. This book is the 2nd installment of the King of Sin series. I honestly had very low expectations going into this book. I kind of wasn't really going into it to necessarily enjoy it and get a favorite book out of it. I kind of just wanted an easy, light on the brain, light on the heart, fun, entertaining book. One, that's exactly what I got, but I also got more than that. Basically, in this book, you follow our 2 main characters, Isabella Valencia and Kai Young. Isabella Valencia is a bartender at the Valhalla Club, which is kind of like a common location in these book series, as well as the Twisted series by Anna Hong. And Kai Young works for the Young Corporation, his family corporation, and he is higher up in the business world, so he attends the Valhalla Club frequently. They meet at the bar. They're complete opposite. They end up dating, but Kai Young is running for CEO of his family's company coming up, so they kind of have to keep their relationship on the down low. There's conflict, there's enemies, there's blackmail. Typically, Anna Hong's books are really heavy on the mafia business. The male main characters of Anna Hong's books are typically they tend to have copy-paste personality traits. What I mean by that is all of them are dark and mysterious billionaires and busy businessmen. She definitely laid back on those characteristics with Kai Young, which I feel is why I enjoyed this book a lot more than I thought I would. The fifth and final book that I was able to complete this month was Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. I listened to it on Spotify. I ended up giving this book a 3 stars. It definitely had everything to do with the fact that I listened to it on Spotify. I definitely would have enjoyed it more if I had it and read it physically. I just wasn't necessarily connected to the characters all that much. Love on the Brain is another typical book by Ali Hazelwood where it's very sciencey based. Specifically, the 2 main characters in this book are neuroscientists. They went to college together previously, didn't really get along, and now they are being forced back together because they both got invited to work on an experiment for this company. You just watch them bicker and have very awkward interactions. You watch their relationship blossom. I would definitely say that this book is a little less cheesy than her other books. I don't know if that's just me, but I think Ali Hazelwood is very good at creating very quirky, very cheesy main characters. Now moving on to some of the books that I want to read in December. First one, we're starting off strong with a quick Lucy score, The Christmas Fix. I honestly don't know too much about this book. I just know that it takes place during Christmas. I believe there's like a single dad trope in here. Very, very, very excited. I'm in such a Christmas spirit this year, so all right. And next is the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy by Stephanie Garber. I had every intention of reading this series in November, but you know, stuff happens. I really want to get into this world. I really want to love it because I know that I will. I feel like I just needed a fantasy palette cleanser after reading Divine Rivals and Iron Flame back to back. This is like top priority for December, 110,000%. And the last 2 books that I really want to try and get to this month, if I can, are The Do-Over by Lynn Painter and The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. These books were also on my November TBR, but like I said, stuff happens. I really think I'm gonna like both of them, so I'm just as excited as I was at the beginning of November. That was my November reading wrap up. This is my December TBR, very ambitious. Stay tuned for my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching to this point. If you made it to the end, I really do appreciate you. See you in my next one.